thing in the business that you haven't accomplished? I mean, you've done so much. Like, is there something like kind of on your agenda that you really want to accomplish in the fashion industry that you
Well,
haven't?
there's always like a lot of loose ends, and we're trying to, we have a new handbag licensee, and I'm trying to make that like look really great. So mostly I think just, some of our licensed products I'm trying to fine tune right now.
What about working yes? Oh, I
Oh,
thought
no,
you
no.
were.
And then, we're always working with different collaborations. We have a couple of ideas for collaborations in the future. So that could be fun. And also, I've really liked doing all these overseas fashion weeks that I've done over time. Like I did one in Colombia, and I did one in New Zealand, and we did one in the Dominican Republic. We did one in Mexico. We've done a lot of those. So
Wow.
that'd be fun to still keep doing more of those.
Is there a favorite country that you've been to for Fashion Week outside the US?
Oh, well, Colombia was great. Yeah, Colombia was great.
How do you
That's a
think?
great country.
I've been to Colombia. I've been to, before COVID, I was at 55 countries, and now I've kind of been stagnant. I've got to start leaving, but Colombia is a great place.
Did you go to Cartagena?
Yes.
The best.
It's just, there's talk about influences, right? There's so many influences there, and just like so picturesque. And
And
how
the
do you,
food's amazing.
the food is amazing. I think most of South America I've had like just such great food in, but now that the world is open, I think it's time to start traveling again.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel Fashion Week here has changed throughout the years from when it first started?
Um, well, when I started, there was only about 40 shows, and they were not in one central location. It was kind of fun because well, before I had fashion shows, I would go to other shows, and it was kind of fun running around the city to go to these different places. And then which is actually where I picked a spot where I went to a fashion show to have my first fashion show, which was this club that was called Laurabelle's in the West 40s. I don't know what it is now, but we had our first, I think, 2 shows there. That was a really cute little spot. Um, but I don't know, then they started doing like the tents, and then everything got to be like bigger, and then the tents moved around. Now it's at Spring Studios. And then they brought in a lot of international designers, a lot of foreign designers show here too. And then there used to be just 1 show per hour. Now, if you look at the schedule, there's like 2 or 3 shows per hour. So there's a lot of conflicting times.
A lot of conflicting times. People are running between shows. As a non-person in the industry, everyone's trying to get into certain shows. It's really become kind of like a thing, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel that, like I know a lot of people, and then like as it gets closer, you just feel that like frenetic energy of, right, like what show are you going to go to? How are you going to get there? Am I getting in? It's all of that, which I kind of like, but it's
Yeah,
just that to me is so
it's,
different
yeah,
than,
it's pandemonium.
it's definitely pandemonium. What was working with Cyndi Lauper like in designing for one of her world tours?
Well, it's funny. I spent a lot of time with her. Like some of these other celebrities is more like, just a few times, but I've spent a lot of time with her, and, we've hung out and done a lot of things. And she's great. She always knows exactly what she wants. So she's very, very like specific about what she wants. But in one time I was in the middle of getting ready for Fashion Week. I think it was like the night before. And I'm at the office, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. She calls me and she goes, "We're coming to get you." And I said, "What?" She goes, "I'm downstairs. I'm coming to get you. Come down." So she pulls up in a limo she's with a couple of girlfriends. And I hop in the limo, and she pulls out a bottle of champagne, and we drive around the city for a while and drink champagne. And then she drops me back at the office like after midnight or something. It was really fun, but it was so thoughtful of her. She just felt like I needed a break.
I
And one time
love
she
it.
came over and styled me. I was going out. She's like, "Oh, you're not wearing that." She did like my makeup. She styled my outfit. So we used to have a lot of fun times together. So she was great.
See, she's what I think of like the uptown girl, Upper West Side, who is a downtown woman.
Yeah. And she's really, like I always say, girls just want to have fun. And, that's just, I always reiterate that, I just want to show that girl who just wants to have fun.
How would you describe your own personal style and how you dress?
Well, I go through phases. I was sort of like in my pants stage for a long time, and I've been wearing skirts now, but I don't know. It's just like, it's the good girl, bad girl, up, down, downtown. And, it's a little bit of a tough edge, it's a little girly, add something tough to it. And I always have a sense of humor on. I'm wearing my gummy bear today.
I love that.
And I think gummy bears are much better as jewelry than eaten.
I love that. I'm like obsessed with like sugar candy and especially gummy bears. So do you have one accessory which is kind of like your go-to? Like, are you like a watch person, like a necklace person? Like, is there one accessory or one item that you're
Well,
just
I
is kind
have
of
a
your
lot of
go-to?
cool necklaces of ours with all our little icons on, and I wear them a lot. They'll have the Hamza and the evil eye. And actually, that's what this sweater has, everything on it. It's got
Oh,
the
wow.
Hamza, the Ankh, and there's an evil eye somewhere. Oh, here's the evil eye.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Oh, and there's a thread. You can tell.
I noticed
I'm in the
this.
workroom, threads.
I love that. I like noticed this as soon as we started talking, but wow. How do you think like social media, like you mentioned, like you get a lot of DMs, like has social media had such a impact on the fashion industry, or am I
Yeah, it's
overemphasizing
crazy.
that?
It's just crazy. I just remember like when we first got Instagram, and I mean, who would have thought it just went as far as it did? But it's just so crowded these days. It's just a really crowded room.
It's a
And like
really
I used to
crowded.
go and like everything, and I'd go through and every day, and like, you know, I do now and then. I mean, I try to keep up, but it's a hard thing to keep up. And there's just so I like my personal Instagram because it's a little more personal. It's like more seeing what like my friends are doing.
Yeah, it's a full-time job, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I used to do that, and then you just get to the point where like I just have to let go, and I just am gonna miss a lot of things because there's
And the
nothing I
other
can
thing, they
do.
change their algorithm all the time. So, and then you keep seeing the same person all the time, and you go like, well, I had to start unfollowing people because they would be like every fifth picture. And I go, well, really don't care that much about this person.
There's the Instagram algorithm is so strange to me. I can't figure it out at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Well, I never anybody I want to see is on the top. So
How do you feel like reality TV, like you look at like the Kardashians and like, the way they dress, like, I mean, they're just the biggest. I mean, I think they're the most famous family other than the royal family, or probably equal. Like, do you think they've impacted fashion?
oh, for sure. They've totally impacted fashion.
And
I mean,
how
everybody is like dressing. They they've they've even changed the shape of girls, like what the ideal is.
do you think right to the fact that they've changed the shape? Because like you said, like models are now all, I mean, it's all shapes and sizes. Like, do you think it's kind of attributed to the success of the Kardashians? Because I could see
No,
that.
I just think everybody, it's changed everybody's kind of vision of like beauty, or everybody's idea of what